Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of country throughout Australia and recognise their continuing connection to land, waters and culture. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Welcome to This Song Is Yours, a music podcast where we chat to a new guest each week, talk about their life and creative endeavours, and talk to them about some of the music they love. Our show works by chatting to our guests about music, but also getting them to make you a playlist of the songs they love. You can find a link to our playlist in the show notes. Welcome to episode 53. I'm your host, Simon Fink. Our guest today is K.Flay. The American rock star and rapper is releasing her new EP today, entitled Inside Voices. In today's episode, we're talking about collaborating with Tom Morello, how she got her start in music, and how she approaches songwriting with others. Here we go. Our guest today is an American singer, songwriter, rapper, and musician who has just released her brand new EP, Inside Voices. The EP features Travis Barker and Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. Please welcome to This Song Is Yours, K.Flay. Hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm doing great. I just had I had some leftovers. I only eat food cold now. I don't know what's going on, but something happened during quarantine where I cannot eat hot food.
Oh,
it's very strange. The taste of it is just not good to me. I need my food like ice cold, like my oatmeal. For instance, I put my oatmeal in the freezer this morning. That's not a joke.
Is it? Because sometimes leftovers can be better cold. My partner might not agree with me. She might have another opinion. That's fine. I prefer pizza the second day cold. I think it's better. But are you talking?
I agree. I mean, I think there's something, and I'd be curious if there's a scientific explanation for this, but I feel like the taste, the chemical properties of cold food create this difference in taste that is actually richer and better. That's my working theory. Okay. I don't really know. I'm probably wrong.
No, I don't think so. I find it very curious. You've I think broken part of my brain this morning, but I love it.
I mean, if I can accomplish that in the first 5 minutes of our conversation, I've done my job.
That's it. The interview's over. We'll stop recording now. Thank you for your time. Yeah. Congratulations on the EP. Inside Voices is out now, worldwide and in Australia. Sometimes I feel like EPs are they're not. You know how sometimes LPs or full-length records are the big thing, and then the EP is the little brother or sister that might get overlooked. That's not the case with this. You're not, part of my language, you're not fucking around on this. This is...
No. I'm not fucking around. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it's interesting, this notion of form, right? Because we're kind of living in a world where a full-length record still, of course, holds this kind of mystical power, but at the same time, there are so many different ways to put out music. And I think for this project, for a variety of reasons, 5 songs, staying concise, especially for me, because I tend to be, I'll go on and on until someone tells me to shut up. Setting those limitations is actually quite motivating and inspiring, and I think powerful. So me really saying, hey, this is going to be 5 songs, each of which explores a different voice in my head that I typically silence or censor, but I'm going to make an exception on this song, and I'm going to air these grievances. That was a really interesting and exciting way for me to approach this project.
Was it always, when you started, was that the kind of mindset from the get-go? Was it that you were going to do an EP and kind of have that, or was it that as time went by and you kind of had song by song that you then thought?
That was pretty much the idea at the outset. I'd been working on new music, pandemic hit, and I think the vision sort of crystallized from there. As I was, producing out these songs and finishing them and recording, they started to take on their final form. And I think the path forward became clear. So a little bit of a mix, but I had a sense of where things were heading.
Yeah. No, that's very cool. I can understand that. Do you think that today in 2021, obviously, previously, like, I feel like labels used to want to put out LPs and that EPs there's a lot of things that are wrong with streaming services, but do you think that with streaming services, an upside is the fact that you can kind of release one-off singles or EPs as you want and have them out there straight away?
Yeah. I do think one benefit of just the Wild West of streaming music on the internet is that songs just kind of do their thing, and I think it can be totally confounding and bizarre, but it can also be really exciting. And I think as an artist, it feels liberating because it just means there's even less to expect when you put out music. And I think that that's actually a great way to live, if you're able, because like when you first start making music, you have no expectations. You're like, well, I made it. Thank God. Cool. Put it, upload, and that same type of spirit and energy, I think you start to lose that as you progress in your career. And, whether it's singles, remixes, features, I feature on a lot of people's tracks, just because I love doing it. I love working with other artists and I love collaborating. I love that process. You just really never know what the fuck is going to happen. And I think that is cool. I think there's an equalizing component of that, which I appreciate.
Yeah, no, of course. You have been quite a collaborator, and there's a kind of mixed bag of artists. When I looked at all the people you'd collaborated with, it wasn't like they're all one genre or whatever else. You've collaborated with quite a few notable Australians as well. Like I think you've had a song with the Dune Rats, and most recently, I think it was Ali Barter helped write one of her songs. Or
oh yeah. I love Ali. Yeah.
No, sorry.
No, I was just going to say that was, it's been really fun in the last year and a half, especially as I've focused a little bit more on kind of behind the scenes writing for others, not, featuring on the track. Again, just from a collaboration standpoint, it's yet another way to cause I basically just want to be in a band. You know what I mean? I'm just I'm out here, I'm alone. I'm looking for bandmates.
When you are, that's very fair. I'm sure that there's many willing people to be your bandmates. I'm sure that there's not a lack of interest there from other people. When you are approaching those projects, whatever they may be, what do you look for? Like, what kind of stands out to you to be like, yeah, you know what, I'll get on board with that, or I'll jump on board?
I think it's really just whether there's an organic connection. Simple as that. And to your point of I have collaborated with a lot of different artists in different genres. I don't really care what people are up to on some level. I mean, I do, I'm interested, but I mean more in a judgment and making decisions capacity. If I'm excited by the music and the people, and we have a real connection, to me, that's the basis of great collaboration. And I also think you afford yourself a lot of freedom as an artist or a writer when you collaborate, because it's almost like, if you go out with a friend, all of a sudden the possibilities are different because, well, I'm with Simon and Simon likes to do this. So yeah, maybe we'll do this. Like, I wouldn't normally do it myself, but I'm with Simon. So, and that same sort of mentality extends to the creative process. So I think for me, I'm always looking for ways to get outside of my own head. I'm so bored of my own head. It's nice to escape. It's nice to get some relief from this thing.
Especially during quarantine, I can imagine that's very fair.
Oh my God. Yes, correct.
The latest there's two collaborations on this EP. The big one, and I'll break it into two parts. I want to talk about what the song is about in a second, but I want to talk, while we're talking about collaboration, is the gentleman that you have on guitar, Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, which is it's the track itself is massive. Your part of the song is massive, and then it's almost like unmistakable Tom Morello guitar that just, I'm not even going to try an air guitar. This is just going to look silly on my end. But how I know that you've worked with him previously. How did it kind of come about around this time that he was going to be on this track and play?
Yeah, so TGIF in some ways is my favorite song on the EP just because of how it evolved over time. It began as a really small guitar demo that I did at my studio, my old, not this place, but a different one, my old studio. And, just this kind of stream of consciousness, like, I don't even know why I'm saying, thank God it's Friday. I'd been thinking about, capitalism and everything that's wrong with it. And yet here I am participating in it. And that's fucked, like, fuck, oh God. And Donald Trump was still the president. So, it's like the first line of the song, the world is run by lunatics. So who gives a fuck? It's just, I think there was that sense of just utter absurdity. And I started working on it with Tommy English and JT Daly, who are two producers that I've, long-term collaborators with me and really good friends of mine during quarantine. And the track just started getting, gnarlier, more unhinged, more demented. And
this summer, Instacart presents famous summer flavors coming to your front door. Or pool. Or hotel.
Your grocery delivery has arrived, sir.
That was faster than room service.
No violins in the lobby.
Oh, seriously? Anyway, sit back, relax, and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Starring your favorite snacks, drinks, and more. Download Instacart for free delivery on your first 3 orders. Rated H for hungry audiences. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum $10 per order. Excludes restaurants. Additional terms and fees apply.
Your wedding will be one of the happiest days of your life, and Blue Nile can help you celebrate it with a gift that'll last a lifetime. Whether you're looking for wedding bands, a gift for your partner, or an unforgettable thank you to your bridesmaids, Blue Nile offers a wide assortment of jewelry of the highest quality at the best price. Plus, expert guidance to ensure you find the perfect piece. Experience the convenience of shopping Blue Nile, the original online jeweler since 1999 at BlueNile.com. BlueNile.com.
It came up, well, let's text Tom. See if he's going to play guitar on this. You already name check Rage Against the Machine. That was, prior to Tom being out of song. So I texted Tom, who, as you mentioned, we've collaborated in the past. And I really, really like Tom. You meet a lot of people in this strange world, and there are just some of them where you're like, wow, you are awesome. He's a great person. He's super smart. He's really kind, extremely hardworking, and really open to new music and new ideas, which I love. So I hit Tom up. I just texted him the song, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I love this. I'll send you something next week." And I think I wrote to him, I was like, just go as crazy, go insane. The point of the track is that it's insane. So there's just play as long as you want. And it's a pretty long guitar solo. I I don't think it's too long at all, of course, but I just mean in the modern age of music of like, well, we only have 8 bars for the solo. It's like a full 16-bar guitar solo. And I thought, I just thought Tom totally understood the spirit of the track. And what's interesting is the song was made by 4 Midwesterners. 3 of us are from the Chicago suburbs here in the States, and another one is from Ohio. And so I think there's something, we're all very mild-mannered as people, but as musicians, we're all kind of wild. So it was cool.
I feel like this kind of leads into what I wanted to talk about next, because the EP, from what I understand, is like some of the tracks are about finding a way to express like things that are difficult to vocalize. Do you find that, well, just as you said, like your mild-mannered Midwesterners, do you find that music is that kind of channel or medium for you to be able to express yourself or talk about difficult things?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, music is the place. And music, in many ways, it's the starting point, right? Like it is the place, but it's also the springboard for me because, well, once I say it in a song, then it's kind of part of my life, so it gives me license, even as Christine, the individual, to explore some of this uncomfortable stuff. And I think, not to dive too deep into my own psychology, but I think that that's been a very helpful thing for me just as a human being. I was, a pretty regimented, rigid teenager in many ways, very, very strict with myself and very strict with others. And music has been this incredible avenue to explore gray area and explore contradiction and explore my own hypocrisy. And that's been incredibly useful just as a person and just in terms of my own growth.
Yeah, I can. Well, a number of people that we do speak to, it is, I think like any good artist, it's like a vessel almost to be able to get out what you're feeling or what is going on inside your head or inside the heart or whatever it may be. When you first started writing music, and please correct me if I've got this wrong, the origin story that I kind of heard for your starting music was like not a mistake, but wasn't planned.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in an argument with my RA at university about the music that was on the radio, and I was like, this shit, I could write something better than that. Of course, me, like with the hubris of a 19, 20-year-old. And that was the starting point, was I was just like really doing it as kind of a joke and in response to an argument. And, clearly though, there was something about that process that was compelling to me and exciting to me. And so that's how things began. And I just, I got interested in production, and I enjoy the technical side of making music as well. I enjoy many components of sort of like engineering and production and all these small things. So I think that appealed to me, or appealed to sort of like a mathematical part of my brain. And I essentially just kept saying yes. I was making these random horrible songs, by the way, I was learning to code. So I was putting them on a website I made, and some kid at school heard them and was like, oh, I'm putting a show together. Do you want to play? And I was like, I'd never played a show. I mean, I didn't know what to do. I wasn't in bands. I didn't know what the hell was going on. So I was like, okay, sure. And, really it's been this, me just saying yes, having the either just delusion. Who knows what motivates it? Like, I don't think I'm like a raging, monomaniacal narcissist. So I think I'm more than anything just very curious. Yeah. I'm very curious to see what happens. And so I kind of kept just, seeing what happened. And now here I continue to be curious.
Yeah. I'm curious. Has has there ever been like any contact with the RA since? About?
Oh yeah. I think he has like a kid now and stuff, or maybe a couple kids, but he had come to some of my early shows, and yeah, definitely like it was not an antagonistic relationship. It was it was friendly argument.
Well, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah. So no bad blood at all. But, and a lot of it's kind of cool. Like a lot of people who I went to university with, who, now live all over the world, come to shows and are like, dude, I saw you play at a frat party and it was so weird. And now it's really cool that you actually are good at music now. And this show's better than that one.
I feel like it is, even though it's like a friendly, as you said, not antagonistic, it is nice that you're able to be like, well, I showed you, like, not even I showed you, right. But like, yes, I did do better than what was playing on the radio. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I am on the radio. Now I'm the shit that's on the radio. That some other teenagers like, fuck this.
In about another 15 years, there'll be an interview where someone will say, I was listening to K.Flay and it just was not my jam.
I'm like, this bitch is on the radio? Okay, I can make music. No, it is interesting, though, to think about like this full circle stuff and how in the most beautiful way, you kind of like, you have to have the humility to understand that like, it's all very funny. Whatever's happening is sort of funny.
No, I can definitely understand that. You're about to, I think you've got a few shows in August and September, but about to kick off a big tour, the Inside Voices, Outside Voices tour in February. What are you looking forward to getting back on the road and being able to play proper shows? Yes. I'm like I sort of have the personality of an 8-year-old. So I've really been cooped up. I'm ready to like jump off of a jungle gym. I'm really looking forward to it. And, as a society, I feel like the group catharsis of the live show is very important. And it's something that in many ways I took for granted, because one of the things you hear as a musician, and it's something that I also said because it was true, is, streaming, who knows, radio, who knows, but we always have the live show. We can always just like get out there and tour. And I think there was this really just like a premise kind of undergirding being a musician, that the live show is all we really have. And so when that went away, it was, certainly a moment of reckoning. And for me, a very clarifying moment, because it helped me to understand what I really love and appreciate about the live show, which is not, it's really that moment of out of bodiness that I think as a performer, you always strive to have. And as an audience member, you always strive to have. And, I go to a lot of shows, so I'm on both sides of this, but it's like, how do you get outside of yourself in a way that isn't like destructive, but it's actually building community, and it's beautiful. It's like, we're all trying to exit our own body, at least for, a fleeting 1 hour or 90 minutes. And I think that's just such a beautiful thing that I get to be a part of. So yes, I'm really looking forward to playing live shows, and just looking forward to figuring out how to make that experience even more engaging and interesting for people. Cause I guess that's my job, on some level, is like to curate that experience and make it great. No, it's very exciting. I know that, even in doing my research, is that a lot of K.Flay fans are looking forward to the tour. So I think it should be very exciting when it does happen. Lastly, we would usually ask our guests on the podcast what they're currently listening to, or if there's anything that's getting a thorough spin on the record player or on the streaming services.
Oh, yes. Currently, I have been listening to a lot of the new Brockhampton record, which I'm really loving. I Yeah, I mean, I kind of always love when there's some type of collective, and anything from like broken social scene on the other side of things, but just where you can have a lot of different voices and a lot of different energy in one project. So I'm really loving that. I was going back and actually I hadn't listened to this record in a while, but what sparked it a month ago, I was like, man, I really want to listen to that last Julia Jacqueline record. I haven't listened to that in a while. And just shouting at a fellow Aussie. And I was like, man, it's so good. She's such a great songwriter. So I've been listening to a lot of that the last month. And I've been listening to a lot of Beethoven piano sonatas because I listen to them. I've begun constructing my own crossword puzzles during quarantine. Like, I'm an avid solver, but I've started making my own. And when I'm building my own puzzles, that's what I listen to, because it's like my concentration music. So that's not that exciting, maybe, but it's an honest answer.
No, we always appreciate an honest answer, but I think, classical music is always good for like focus music. There's something about it. Just, I'm not sure. Yeah.
And I listen to Beethoven piano sonatas all throughout college, writing every paper I ever wrote. So there's something like Pavlovian now about my response to hearing it, which is like, I need to focus and do good work and use my brain. So it's almost like there's an animalistic training component.
Yeah. Well, look, hopefully you're still able to enjoy it somewhat. Hopefully it's not too much of like a trigger almost, if you will. K.Flay, thank you very much for being on the podcast. Congratulations again on the EP. And we look forward to when we can have you back in Australia for some shows.
Yes, me too. Thanks so much for having me. I really enjoyed it. Thanks, Simon.
And that's our show. A massive thank you to K.Flay for her time. Inside Voices is out now, and we've left links in the show notes if you want to stream the EP or check out her international tour dates. We also want to give a huge shout out to Tess at Six Boroughs Media for helping out with today's interview. You can find a link to our Spotify playlist in the show notes, where you'll be able to listen to all of our guests' picks. If you like this show, please subscribe wherever you get your pods and stay up to date when new episodes are released. We release new shows each Thursday and Friday morning, with guest playlists streaming on Spotify at the same time. You can follow the playlist profile on Spotify. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Until next week, cheers.
This podcast is brought to you by eHarmony, the dating app to find someone you can be yourself with. Why doesn't eHarmony allow copy and paste in first messages? Because you are unique, and your conversations should reflect that. eHarmony wants you to find someone who will get you. How are you going to know who gets you? If people send you the same generic conversation starters they message everyone else. Conversations that actually help you get to know each other. Imagine that. Get who gets you on eHarmony. Sign up today.